All right. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Daily Paycheck. I got to get my shows right. It's the Coffee Run. Good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Run. It's John from ProCraps here on Casino Gaming TV, where all the big things are happening, except for if your name is Albert. Albert's ready to take a nap. Albert, I hope I can be boring enough to put you to sleep today. Lay down there and put the headphones on, and I'll lull you to sleep, I promise. Okay? I think Dan is absolutely ready for all the crazies to come into Vegas. Here's Rosie coming in to say hi. Come to Vegas for the game. It's going to be nuts in town. I mean, I'll never experience it in my lifetime, right? I've lived in Philadelphia, where they'll never have a Super Bowl, of course. They had one in Jersey one time, which was, of course, one of my favorite games of all time, but not a great event. They'll never have it in Seattle. They'll never have it in Vegas again, probably. Well, I'm moving to Vegas, right? And I'm sure this is the one time they're going to have it. It'll be 20 years before it's there again. So I'm never going to get to see one in my town. I can only imagine the circus that it's going to be. Anyway, having a Super Bowl in your town, let alone it being in Vegas, where it's just it's that town is a circus. So it's going to be insane. So anyway, good, Dan. Good luck. Good luck getting around, guys. All right, let's jump into the show today. What do we have here for you? We have, well, that's the wrong screen. I'm going to be here. There we go. What do I have on tap for you today? Well, on tap today, couple things. One is going to be reminder of tomorrow. Wednesday is today. Tomorrow is Thursday. So Thursday at 6 will be the next trip around the table. So as you recall, last week we did our inaugural show, and I was supposed to have DGE on. DGE, Charlie was, he was putting insulation in his house, I guess. He was underneath the floor and couldn't get out. So we didn't have him. It was me by myself last week, which I'll go ahead and say it. It was an amazing show. I did a good job. Not because of me, because you all asked great questions and it was fun. This week I've got Chris. So Chris from Dice Dejan will be on tomorrow night. My brother from Philly will be with me. And again, y'all got to ask the questions, right? I've got questions that were queued up from last time, right? Like I think Skill had asked about the Kennedy assassination. Somebody else asked me about the moon landing. We can ask him a nice politics question. You know, I mean, we have some fun things we can go with. I can ask him if he believes in flat earth theory. Whatever's on your mind, like just keep it off of craps. Like let's ask each other non-craps. Let's just have fun with it. Have some fun with it. We're going to do 6 shooters, right? I shoot from every spot around the table. And Chris will bet. I'm going to put his crapsy up on screen. He will bet crapsy. So you'll see Chris's bets. I'm just going to throw and talk. And as we're betting and talking, we'll be asking Chris all the questions. It'll be like our own version of Hot Ones. And I hope this becomes fun. But think of your questions. Think of your non-craps questions. You can drop them to me now if you want to. You can throw them in Discord. You can DM me in Discord, and I can queue those up for tonight. And but yeah, whatever we also see live, I'll make sure I have those ready to go. So that's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock and Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. The second thing that's go through is the mob. And again, the mob has been a fun strategy, Dan. I can tell you this. The first time we played the mob, you and I beat the crap out of it. The mob is one of these things where we were chasing a unicorn a long time ago, right? Like what's the ideal strategy? There is no unicorn strategy. There's no way to be safe on every single throw. There's always going to be some massive amount of risk. This one looks to mitigate the risk quick, which is what I like about it. And if you take a look at let me go forward a screen here. When we take a look at the way, where's my mob screen? I must not have it on here. I don't know what I did with it. I guess it's down there. There it is. When you think about the mob, like the way I play craps, and you all should know this, and I know that it cost me money, and it cost me money today, but I'm okay with that. It's like I want to get out of the hand quick. I want 2 rolls to be even, whatever that looks like to you, right? In the mob, we have 2 really scary rolls. We have the roll and the don't come. We have a roll when you're kind of across there. If you get that first box hit, you're safe. It's like, okay, I got a don't come bet set. I got a box hit. I'm gonna at worst break even. I like being in that position. I love that spot. 2 rolls in, you're basically even, which is cool. Another roll locks in a little bit of profit for you, and then you're kind of playing for it. And so it's get even, get a little bit up, work to your goal, and then do what you're gonna do. Today we did that. We got even. Actually, we lost $200 a couple times in a row. Our fourth shooter got us even, made back the money we lost, made the profit goal for the day, and then I regressed. Like, hey, locking up today's profit, regress, and then you can go, pedal to the metal. Then it's fun time. It worked perfectly today, Dan. It was just a wonderful sequence of events today. It worked out good. I beat it up pretty good. Yesterday, I beat it up pretty good. We lost money in our second round, but you can see that this thing's got the legs to it if you get the rolls. I think we're making some good changes to it. So I like the mob. I think it's actually a cool little strategy. I don't know that it has the longevity yet. We got to see it over the course of a month, but I think we're getting into what we feel like is going to work good for us. I think we all want to be betting clean as soon as we can. We all want to be racking black chips as soon as we can. We all want to be safe. So it's hit all the numbers. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see what is happening in chat. Before I go anywhere else, I want to make sure I cover the chats. Let's see here. There's a couple PCs I saw actually. PC Mark the Point says, I'm moving to Vegas. Yes, I am. And here's my plan. My life plan is this. I don't know why I do this to you guys. You guys don't care what I'm doing, but we're going to sell our house here. We're in Washington State, outside of Seattle. We're going to sell this house probably over the summer. We're going to move to Eastern Washington, which is it's over the mountains and flat, farmland, wheat, and that kind of stuff, and apple country. We're going to have a house over there where all of our family lives, because that's all the family kind of is over there now. So we'll be there for about 6 months out of the year, pretty much for summertime. Pretty much fall through spring, we're going to be in Vegas. I'm going to have a house in both places. I work it from home. My wife works from home, so we can live anywhere. We just got to bring our laptops with us, and off we go. So I'll build a little crap studio in 2 cities, and yeah, I'll be in Vegas for half the year and Washington for half the year. That is the plan. Dan says it will work on the inside or the outside bets. The outside bets, I think, like we did today, give us a little bit of more options. And for those of you that missed it, let me show you. I'm going to go to the table real quick. I want to show this off because I think it was kind of a cool little twist. And I literally thought of it. Where's my table? I thought of this option this morning, like early this morning. And here's what I'm doing now. So the mob, why is it so? Is it me or is that fuzzy? That is not a clear picture. I'm not sure what the hell's going on with the camera here. Hold on a second. Why is that so? Hang on a second. Why is that so gross, that picture? Oh my goodness gracious.
Sorry.
Yeah, Siri, nobody cares. My table, let's see. It should be autofocus. There we go. That's a little more clear. I'm not sure what's going on with it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Here we go. What we changed was this. Instead of being like this, 550 inside, with a $375 don't, which is basically $925 on the felt and $75 in the rack. That's how we used to do it. Today, I did this. I went to the 4 and 10 for 100 even, the 5 and 9 for 150, and a $300 don't. So that's $500, $800, which means I would have $200 in the rack. So out of my $1,000 slot for each shooter, I have $200 kind of buffer to play this thing out, which is kind of cool. And again, wherever the don't come point goes, you just keep your bet there. But the thing was, if the don't come went to the 10 or the 4, what I did was I took this and I moved it somewhere else. In this case, I did that. So I left the 10 or the 4 wide open if that was my don't come point. No need to hedge that off early. So I did this. I picked up another number. I had 4 clean bets, right? And a 5th clean bet on the 7. And that's what I did today. And that really helped us out because this is a stronger bet than that, for sure. This is a stronger bet too. Now I was able to scoop 200, 200, 200, and 105. And basically when I got the $105 on the 9, I made it look like 125, or 150 rather. Now that's getting $200 too. I took a little bit less back to the rack, but now I've got 4 bets to pay me $200. And I did that. That worked out really well. Because in here, 3 of those hits, 100 or 200, 400, $600, guess what? When you get the 3 hits, you know you have 2, 4, $600 in profit. If we roll a 7, there's $300 on that 7, and guess what? That's a paycheck. That's $1,000, $900, but it's basically $1,000. That's pretty damn cool, right? That was the change we made. It picks up the nice big pays on the end. It lowers your overall exposure, and it gives me the flexibility to run away from the 4 and 10, and let the 7 be the strong bet there and not hedge that off. Now you're hedging off on the insides, but not the outsides. I like that little change that we made. And to me, it made it a tad stronger this morning. Now today was a day, of course, where I hit an armload of 4s and 10s. So, I got that weird light on back there. Hit all those 4s and 10s today, so it made it better for us. But whatever, right? We'll take it. I like the strategy, Dan. I think there's still some work to do, but I think we had a good time with it today. And again, a 24 roller doesn't hurt, right? When that happens. There it is. Dice Dr. Dale, I consider a 2-bedroom condo. I would consider it. Here's the thing. I have a real estate agent in Vegas looking for me for houses. We are looking at condos. We're looking at 3-bedroom condos because what I want to do is, and maybe a standalone, because what I want to do is I want to Airbnb it when I'm not there. So when I'm not in town, we'll rent that Airbnb style. To be determined what that looks like, because when I go to Vegas in June, pardon me, I'm going to start my dice training with David and to get certified as a dealer. He seems to think that because I can already basically deal, it's going to be refinement. I don't got to do the whole thing. Anyway, I may consider going back and forth, like, once a month for a week or weekends only or something like that all year long. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, looking at a condo, potentially 55 and older community is a thing for us. We now that I'm there, I can do it. But I want to Airbnb the place. So maybe a 55 and older spot won't work. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And we're having a conversation like this, but that is my plan. Airbnb half the year, go on weekends. When you all come to visit, right? Got a place to come visit me and hang out and it'll be fun. It'll be super fun. Anyway, I know we're getting way off the topic here. Let's get into it. Let's get into into this idea of casino myths. And I think I have checked out Reno, James. The problem with Reno is this, and I love Reno because Jeremy's there and I've been there 4 or 5 times. I really like it. What I really don't want is winter. And Reno's got a winter. You know what I mean? Vegas has a small winter. Wenatchee, Washington has a bad winter. That's why, like, from September to May, it snows over there, right? I'd rather be like 70 degrees all winter long and 90 degrees all summer long and just kind of do that. But I could totally do Reno if it wasn't for wintertime. Jen's moving to Reno too. That's cool. Good for you. All right, here we go. Ready? Casino myths? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about something interesting. And again, frame all of this. Like, I'm going to repeat this every day, right? The core principles, right? Your goals have a goal. Today was a good example in our daily paycheck. We had a goal, stuck to it, and it worked out for us, right? We had a great strategy that accounted for the way we were going to win, for sure. We have bankroll to give us 3, 4, or 5 cracks at that thing if we needed to. And even at worst, we're losing a couple $100 at a time, so we're not getting destroyed. We had a good mindset this morning, and I think mindset is the way that you connect all that stuff together. With a good, strong mind, you got discipline. If you tie it together with everything else, the knowledge, the theory, the understanding of variance, and all the things that bring it home, you got a shot, okay? You still aren't going to be a winner. We'll talk about this today. There's still no way to be a winner long-term, most likely. However, this takes what could be, what I say, the mega advantage of a casino, which is, you'll see, down to what it ought to be, which is just the house edge, right? You're guaranteed to lose the house edge on your bets over the course of time. There's no running away from that. But let's use all these principles here to make sure we don't give them extra money in the moments where things can go sideways. All right. Now, we're going to talk today about some casino myths. And it's been on my mind for a while to do this. This is our first, separate the fly shit from the pepper kind of a talk, right? Casino myths, and they're everywhere. And if you search for casino myths on YouTube or search for on Google, you'll find 1,000 websites and 1,000 videos about, and I'll put some of them up here today. You'll see some of them of the classic casino myths. And I think some of these things maybe used to be true. I think that they are less and less true today. And the reason why this is a good talk to have, and maybe this is like the first chapter of my book instead of the 19th chapter of my book, but you got to know, like, what people are saying about it and how it may affect your brains. Let's just dive in and look at some of the classic casino myths and what's really going on there. So the first one is going to be this: there are no clocks in a casino. And this is a true statement. There are no clocks in a casino. The myth is there are no clocks in the casino because the casino thinks that you're too stupid to know what time it is, and you're going to lose track of time, right? You have a watch, you got your phone now. That may have been true at one point. At one point, that may have been true. The casinos may have had so little respect for humanity that they thought if we don't give them any windows and don't give them any clocks, they'll never know what time it is. They'll stay here forever. I think that's a bunch of BS. There's also no clock at the supermarket or Staples or Kohl's or whatever store you're going to. There's no clocks in there either. It's not a thing for businesses to put big clocks up, right? They just don't, nobody does that anyway, right? So to say that there's no clocks because they think you're a degenerate is ludicrous. They're going to keep you in the casino, not because you don't know what time it is, but because of all the other things that are going on. They have enough distractions. They have the music. They got the whatever you call it, the barely scantily clad waitress. They have all the things going on to keep you there. They don't need that one little thing of you not knowing what time it is. That's a load of garbage. So it's true that there are no clocks. It's not true that there's no clocks because they're trying to screw you. So there's that one. The next one is this. I've heard this a million times. You probably have too. Oxygen and air fresheners are pumped in. Okay. This is actually true to a point. Okay. If they're pumping in oxygen to the level that people think they are. Okay. The myth is they're putting in so much oxygen to keep you alert and awake, right? If there was that much oxygen being pumped in there and everybody's smoking, the place would go up in flames, right? They're not doing that, right? Now, are they air purifying? Absolutely. Is there oxygen in the air purifier? For sure. Are there nice scents in the air purifier? Yes. Why? Because people are disgusting, okay? We are gross creatures. We're burping. We're passing gas. We're smoking cigars and cigarettes. Everybody's got bad breath because you're there for 9 hours, right? They're putting in smells to cover up your smell and make the place pleasant. You've walked into a casino, we all have, the old shitty ones where the floor is sticky, the carpet's old and it smells like death. Like we have a couple of those here in Seattle where these old, like bingo hall casinos, they're terrible because the smoke just sits in there, right? No, they have these great systems where they purify the air for your pleasure. Right? It's not to keep you awake. It's to keep you from leaving because it stinks so bad. This is true. Okay. So the myth is false in terms of why they do it. It's not to keep you alert and awake. It's to keep you happy. Okay. Happy people spend their money. Happy people part with their money more willingly. Let's just put it that way. So and that goes back to the first myth too, right? There's lots of distractions to keep you happy. The air smells good to keep you happy. And if you're happy, you will spend your money and stay longer. That's just the way that it is, okay? The next one is this. Casinos are a maze with no 90, I've heard this exactly, with no 90-degree angles. You ever heard this myth? I joke about it like there's a Rite Aid pharmacy near me. And it's really only one of them does this, but one of the Rite Aids around me, every aisle, like some of them are on angles and some of them are squares. Everything is jacked up. You're always bumping into shit trying to find where the Advil is, right? I was like, God, these people went to the casino school of interior design because everything's a mess trying to get around it. Look at the two pictures here. And I got this picture actually from this website. I'm going to show you this. This is a great website to go to. Let me get my browser open up, Firefox here. Because this is a really interesting take on this. The old days, this was probably true. I think this is what we're seeing here is the evolution of the casino model in some ways. Okay, let me share my screen and show you this website where I got this picture from. This is actually super cool. Let me zoom in here a little bit. An inside look at the secrets of casino design. And the person here researches this, and the premise of this article is that the casinos used to be designed chaotically as a maze, as impossible to get through. You're always bumping into a machine or whatever else, right? There is some of that true to an extent in terms of where they want your vision to be. But the pathways are no longer crazy, right? The pathways now make more sense. They make it a playground where Here's the nice organized pit. Here's, tables around the pit that you can hear things with. Instead of it being a disaster, on the right side now we have what they call playground style design. And I think that again is more to make your time there more pleasant, right? Instead of being pissed off and frustrated, like, where's my wife? Where's my husband? I can't find that because I got to walk around this place. Now there's a central bar, the pit's by the bar, around the pit are the tables, or the machines, and you can hear the thing. It's a much more pleasant playground style experience. So in 2024, consumers, again, are known to spend more money when they're enjoying their time. And so design in casinos is way different now than it used to be. Some of that's corporate. Some of that is they've got money to spend in marketing and people research, and they're finding out what works. And the old ways don't work. The old ways may have kept you trapped and felt trapped, but you weren't enjoying yourself to stay longer. So that myth is busted by, again, us being in 2024 and having more modern looks at how people react to their environment. And that's an interesting thing, I think. Another myth that I heard was this one: slot machine music is always tuned to the key of C. And I saw a video on this, and I'm like, really? That seems interesting because C is a very happy key, right? The key of C is happy. It's normal. It's what your kind of pop music you used to, right? And it keeps you sort of like, hey, you're always in a happy mood. And again, happy people part with their money. It's not true. I saw a guy interviewed on a YouTube video where he was talking about he makes the music for the games. Like, no, we do it in all the keys. What they do focus on though is this. The audio is digitized now. So it's not ding, 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 ding. There's music and there's the that sound when you win a slot machine. Everything sounds great. It sounds modern. That big boom, boom when you win, right? That sounds like, like a video game, like alien gunfire, and it's fun, right? They're made to be fun and uplifting, but they aren't tuned to the C. Now, the thing to note here, everything on the slot machine sounds awesome, right? You'll notice that there's no sound played when you lose, right? There's music playing on the slot, but there's no like losing sound. However, there is a losing sound, and you got to know this, right? You hear the ding, 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 whatever you're hearing. You've seen people put in $5, you have $5 for a spin on the slots, or $5 press the button, and they win $2.50 back, right? You win back half your money. And what does the machine do? It goes crazy. The Buffaloes go running by, or Pat Sajak comes on and says, Wheel of Fortune, and you won half of your money, which means they took half your money. So it plays a song and it goes crazy when it takes your money, which is an interesting psychological phenomena. You're getting the dopamine hit when you're losing. That is a trick. That's not a myth. That's reality. They're doing that. Anytime it pays anything back, it makes the noise. And it shows the little video. That for sure is making you feel like you're having a good time. It increases your experience. It hits you where it needs to hit you, but you're actually losing. So remember that too, right? Whenever you're hearing the noise, doesn't always mean somebody's winning. And where they put the machines so you can hear them when you're playing at the tables, or when you're walking by, you're hearing all the bang, boom, pow, right? A lot of times that noise is the machine celebrating taking somebody's money because it only paid them back half what they bet. Interesting thing. So keep that in mind. It's a myth, yet not a myth. The myth of the key of C is true, or not as a myth. The myth of the music being set to kind of put you in the right mood to keep playing, that's absolutely true. Another myth is this: card counting is illegal. I've watched enough videos and movies and documentaries on card counting. The casino presents it as though it's illegal. They bring the cops in, they can trespass you, they can do all these things to make it feel like you're breaking the law. You're not. Card counting is perfectly legal. This is a myth that the casinos like to put out there. Now, I would say this to you: it's a skill, and it's not cheating. So arm yourself with the information about this kind of thing. And maybe you're not a card counter, but maybe you know one. Here's the thing, right? The casino gives you information. Like, they're showing you the result of the hand, right? You're seeing all the cards that got played. You know how many cards were in the shoe. You just did math. You're using your brain, with information presented, and you go, okay, well, I think there's more face cards left. Let me go and change my bet levels, right? That's all you're doing. But they still don't allow it, right? It's a skill that you've developed. All those things are true. It's legal. It's a skill, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to let you do it, right? It's against their policy to card count. And they have taken away your ability to do it in a number of ways. We'll talk about those here in a little bit. But yeah, card counting is absolutely legal. It's matter of fact, in New Jersey, they cannot kick you out for card counting. They've actually made it physically legal and illegal for the casinos to discriminate against the card counter. So that may have been a myth, and you may have seen people getting their tails kicked in movies. It doesn't happen. But you can get trespassed. You can get kicked out of a casino, and they can refuse your action if they don't want your action, and that's one of their tools. But card counting, 100% is legal. The illegality of it is a myth, and the casinos will like to put the heavy hand. If you're a new card counter, know that going in. The next myth I got for you is this one, that machines are hot and cold, right? And I say this to you all the time. We talk about craps, right? No such thing as a hot or cold table. The RNG, I say, would like you to hold its beer. Machines don't go hot and cold. Machines are purely random. And we'll talk about the random number generator here as we go, but the random number generator in the slot machines is going to do what it's going to do, okay? It's predetermined what's going to happen. So not predetermined in terms of are you going to win on the next spin. When you press the button, the RNG determines a result, and then you get to see the video. What's happening on the screen is not really what's happening. It's a video based on the result. Machines don't go hot and cold. They are purely random, and the distribution of the random numbers in the machine is not unlike what you see when you see a craps or a roulette distribution, right? In craps, we know there are 2 ways to make a 2 or 12, 3 to make a 3 or 11, and you get that nice little pyramid bell curvy looking thing. Slots work the same way. There's a bell curve in the slot machine that determines wins and losses and how much you win or lose. The RNG selects one of those things every single spin, and that's what you get. It's completely random. There is no hot or cold machine. Now, it may pay 10 times in a row, happenstance. It's just the way that it works, right? So the RNG in the slots, again, would like you to hold their beer because they never go hot or cold. The same can be said that a machine is quote unquote due. Now, this is partially true and partially false, okay? First things first, you're owed nothing. You're owed nothing ever. You're never, ever, ever owed anything by a slot machine. My dad used to fall into this fallacy. My dad was a believer, especially on poker, video poker machines, where he would say, look, the machine is supposed to pay you 98%. If you sat here for 2 hours and it's sucking your money out, it owes you money. It's got to get itself right because legally the machine has to pay out 90% or whatever the number is. It's got to get itself right at some point. And the RNG decides ahead of time if you're going to win, right? On a regular slot, you're like, okay, press the button. It goes, RNG runs, this person's going to win X dollars, and it pays you the money. You have no say in the matter, okay? On video poker, however, that's different because the RNG could say, okay, we're going to give a winning hand to this person, right? We're going to give them 3 jacks and 2 garbage cars. And the person is going to select the 3 jacks and take their winnings. However, in that game, the person can make the decision to not take the jacks. And then they lose the hand that they were supposed to win. And the machine goes, well, shit, you were supposed to win that hand. Now it knows, its tracker knows that it's behind. So it will increase the probability of a future win, right? It just changes the distribution of the RNG, but it's still an RNG. You'll get an extra win at some point later on because it does have to catch up, but it doesn't mean that it's behind and it's going to pay you right away. It never owes you anything, okay? The RNG, again, hold my beer. And on the same thing, the payback or the return to player percentages are meaningful. This is another casino. This is kind of a trick that they play. You'll see the 98% payback on some of these machines. Oops, what's going on? I went back a screen. What happened there? Here, you'll see the 98% payback, the signage, right? And it's true. And all of that means is this. Over the course of infinite rolls, 1 million rolls, 998,980 of them will be winners. That's all that it means. It does not mean that you are going to put $100 in and only lose $98. It's not what that means. It means that over the course of 1 billion rolls, the law of big numbers, that machine will pay back 98% of what it takes in. It's a guaranteed 2% take. All of what it means behind the scenes is that the random number generator, its graph of payments might be steeper in parts, right? And the way that the random number generator works, it pulls a number, it looks at the graph and says, okay, I pulled the number 73, whatever, 73 means a win of $2.46, or 73 means a win of 104% of what the input amount was, okay? That's what that RNG means. When it's 98%, there's more of those in there. There's more times where it wins 102 versus losing 98. You follow me? That's the only difference. It's still random, which area you get picked in, the way the RNG works, it's all random. And again, you might win 10 times in a row. You might hit the jackpot, okay? Over the course of another million rolls, if no jackpots get paid, or if the right number of jackpots get paid, the meaningfulness of that jackpot is reduced. It's just like in craps, we talk about the perfect pyramid never forms, right? Especially in small samples, but in bigger samples, if you are throwing way more sevens than you should in a short term, over the long period of time, that will equalize itself out. Slots work the same way. The RTP, the payback percentage, is completely meaningless to you. It's still random. It doesn't owe you a thing. It does not mean that the longer you sit there, you're going to get back your money. And it's a suck job. People think, oh God, 98% payback, cool. I can't lose much money. You can still lose that whole $100. The next person might win 102. The next person wins 102. The next person wins 102. And over the course of time, 60 people come through there. The machine's paid back its 98%. It took all of yours and gave them all a little tiny bit. That's how these things work. So don't get sucked into the payback or the RTP of a machine. The way the RNGs work, that's not a thing. So it's better for you when they're higher, right? The rate of winning, the amount of wins are better, but it's not a guarantee that your session is going to be a win. They work law of big numbers, you work law of today. And that's how that works, okay? Next, comps cancel out the house edge. Another myth. And again, I think this myth is perpetuated in 2 levels. I'm going to go ahead and show you something here really quick. Let's go to this view. I'm going to go to casinogaming.tv. I'm going to bring you to the comp calculator. We're going to go to tools, comp calculator. I'm going to zoom way in here. The comp calculator that I've gotten here will let you put your bets in and show you what this works like. Okay, let's pick one. Let's do on roulette. Let's go the red black on a 00 machine. Let's bet $100. Let's say that we're going to get 50 spins an hour over 4 hours. Let's just do 1 hour, 1 hour of play. Okay. 1 spin per hour. Here's your comp value. Okay. We know your expected loss of that $100 is $5.56. That is the house edge. Okay. Your expected loss for the bet is $5.56. Your average daily theoretical is $5.56. That ADT is the expected loss for all your bets for the whole time you're there. Your comp value is about a third of that, depending on where you play, a quarter to a third of your ADT. If we're at a roulette machine or a roulette table and we're getting 100 spins an hour and we're there for 5 hours, okay, you're expected to lose about $3,000. Your comp value is about $700, okay? The comp value does not negate the house edge. The house edge is what it is, your expected loss, and the loss that you will experience over time by playing only red for $100 is $2,700 if you played for 5 hours with 100 spins an hour. That's what's going to happen to you, but this is the truth of casino gambling. That's what will happen to you for sure. So this notion that comps cancel the edge is not true. Now, you may get rooms that save you a ton of money. You may get meals that may save you a ton of money out of pocket. That's all good. What is it designed to do? What we said earlier, keep you happy, keep you there. If you're happy because you got a great meal for free, if you're happy because you got a great show for free, if you're loving your experience because your host is awesome, and I'm an awesome host, then you will stay longer. And you will stay, instead of $100 on red for 4 hours, you'll do $100 on red for 8 hours. You'll double your time there. And guess what? Your ADT goes way up. and they give you more food, keep you happy, and you start burning money. The comp does not cancel out the house edge. It augments it. It makes your life a little bit better. You don't got to put money out of your pocket, but trust me, you're paying for that. Now, it cancels part of it out. You can see you're getting some comp value out of it. It takes a percentage of what your expected loss is, but not all of it. And I invite you all to go to casinogaming.tv, hit that calculator, put in your bets, put in what you do, put in 640 across on the craps table, and you can look at your ADT. You can look right there at how the casino calculates what kind of a player you are. 96 across on a craps table for 2 hours. You can put those bets in, and it will show you your ADT is about $35. You're worth $35 to the casino when you play that kind of bet. That's what you're expected. So make sure you know how to calculate it, and be aware that it feels like the comps are canceling it out. They're not. They're giving you a little bit of a spiff, but most people give it back. The $600 that the black level red roulette player got, that they gave back in terms of comp value, they give it right back. Gamblers are degenerates, you give it back. That's why I tell you all the time, be smart, be in your head, okay? Our next myth is that, and I think this is our last one, is that you can win. And this is gonna be the one that makes you sad. You think you can win. I will tell you this, in a fair game, you could win. Fair game meaning, red and black are a 50-50 game, and you got paid 1-to-1. It's not a 50-50 game. It's a 48% chance of winning those bets, not 50-50, because you got the greens, right? The game isn't fair. Craps isn't fair, right? The way that the bets pay is not fair to you. Blackjack at 3-2 or 6-5 especially, not a fair game. In a fair game, you could win, but the casinos don't play fair. And that's okay, actually. It's okay that they don't play fair. I've said this before. I don't care about the house edge. I mean, I care about it because you lose money with it, but the house edge to me is no different than the supermarket marking up the ice cream. It's the same shit, right? There is going to be things that have a low house edge, like the craps pass line bet or baccarat. It's like milk, right? Nobody wants to drink straight up milk. It's boring. Doesn't taste good, right? High house edge bets, like the prop bets in craps, like the single number in roulette, like whatever, that's like chocolate ice cream, right? Sometimes you need a little bit of that. And the casino charges you more for the bets that are juicy, right? 22% house edge on the ATS bet, 22% on the ATS bet, right? It's a juicy ass win, 150-1. It's the chocolate ice cream of the casino, right? It's okay. Let them have their edge. It's fine, okay? But know that the edge means they aren't playing fair. Now, again, you can also go back to the 50s, right? Were the dice always fair in the 50s? Were roulette tables not biased in the 50s? I don't know. Today they are. Everything today is highly regulated. We talk about the RNGs. We can talk RNG and bubble craps too. I got some information for you there. The RNGs, the way that those things operate, highly regulated. There's no unfairness to that. They trust me. Caesars Corporation, who owns like 60 hotels around the world, there's no way that they are screwing you on the slot machines or on bubble craps. There's no way they're putting in something that's going to be fixed so you lose. They already have the edge, okay? That said, they have an edge. You are not permitted to have one. They will not tolerate any advantage that you have. None, okay? Let's look at the things that they do to eliminate your advantage, right? What are the games where you think you might have an advantage, right? Slots, you have no advantage, right? Of course. Roulette, there can be an advantage gained in roulette if you have a dirty dealer, right? You know this, that can bias the wheel. They can bias the outcome. There's countermeasures in place so dealers can't do that. You can have dirty dealers in blackjack and baccarat. We've seen what is the name of that group? I forget their name. They got a bunch of dealers hired and they were screwing the casino. That they won't let that happen, right? Those people are going to you straight up cheat, you're going to be out. But look at craps, right? And look at we'll go to blackjack first. In blackjack, right? Card counting, right? That's an advantage. You can flip the house edge from being 0.5% to a +1 or 2% your favor. Take that profit away from the casino. Card counting does that. It's an advantage for the player. I mentioned before, it's not illegal to do it. It's legal, but the casino will not tolerate it. In the old days, grab you by your shirt, escort you out, right? Some casinos still do that. local tribal casinos will still physically, I've seen people physically removed for card counting, right? They won't tolerate it. What do? What's the countermeasure? Shufflers, right? Now they have auto shufflers. There is no deck penetration. The deck penetration now is 0 on all the blackjack games, right? No more card counting is a thing of the past, right? Unless you're playing a single hand deal or a 2-deck hand deal, there's 0 deck penetration. Card counting is a thing of the past. They have eliminated it. They will not tolerate you having an advantage. In craps, used to be, you could slide the dice. You weren't allowed to, but people could physically slide the dice. There used to not be alligator walls, okay? When they figured out that people could throw the dice, legitimately slide, spin, control off that back wall, what did they do? Bounty tables, alligator skin. They have eliminated your advantage. They will not tolerate you having any kind of an advantage. There's speed bumps in some tables I've seen. The Sahara in Vegas has got speed bumps on the felt to stop sliding. They won't tolerate it. They will not let you have an advantage. Okay, the casino already has an unfair advantage over you with the house edge. They will not tolerate you gaining any ground on them at all. So to think that you can win is a casino myth. The lights, the sounds, the slot machines make that great noise. People are high-fiving and making it. They love it. They love it when people win a little bit of money because everybody goes crazy. Trust me. Unless you are super lucky and super diligent, smart, and disciplined, you have no chance. Okay? Discipline, money management, bringing your brain to the game, even when you're ahead, you can win often. Once in a while, you may win a lot, right? That's the story of my life. I win a little bit often. I have a couple of big home runs. Over my life, I'm probably ahead. I know I'm ahead. I'm not saying probably, I'm ahead because of that, but not because I beat them at a fair game, right? I've just not let them destroy me, right? I won't let them destroy me. I'll take a loss here and there. I will not get my ass kicked. But can I win? Am I a regular guaranteed winner? No. And none of us are. It's just the way that this works, right? That house edge, that profit that's built into the unfair games is going to get you. It's going to get you. Shit runner go blind. They're getting their money and they have a way to do it. And all those things we talked about lead to it. And I think this all plays in my mind, if we go way back, I'm going to change my screen back here and go way back to our beginning points, which is this. If you stick to the principles that we talk about, right? If you have a strict set of win goals and loss limits, if you have a solid strategy, and strategy to me is defined, where are my bets? How much are my bets? How do I handle my wins? A strategy that accounts for the winning times, a bankroll that accounts for your losses, that can withstand some loss and power you through some bad times to get to the wins. Those 3 things are super important. If you have a strong mind, if you're not a mental midget, like I say, if you're strong upstairs, if you've got discipline to walk, if you have knowledge of your game, if you embrace variance, you understand math, you can reduce all the noise, right? You can ignore the slot machine making the noise when you lose as a thing. You can the music. You can ignore I keep going here for the cocktail, but you can ignore all that stuff and let the casino just have their built-in edge and not be succumbed to shoving all in all the games that you play. This is the key. Okay. It's not going to make you a winner. It's going to make you less of a loser. And I think that's super important. We have a grounding in that reality. Okay. I love winning. I love talking about how to win. The truth of the matter is you can control what you can control, and you can control not being distracted by all the noise and all that crazy casino myth stuff, right? Victor says it here. Treat it as entertainment. I think that's important. That's important. Gargoyle says, I said you can't win, so why go? It's entertainment, right? You can win. And I don't mean you can't never win. You will win. You're going to win maybe a majority of the time, right? You can win 60, 70% of the time. But the casinos got their edge. They're going to, over the course of length of time, they will get their money. They will get their money. Trust me on that. They will get their money. It's again, every player to themselves, right? You can have a great day. You have a series of great days. You can be like me and be on this nice trajectory. By and large, the casino wins. I don't want you to go out there with this mentality of I'm going to win every single time, because it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And that's just, I want to be honest with you about that and make sure we have good expectations on it. All right. Let's go to the questions. Let's go down to the bottom here. Let's take questions and answers and see what do we have here. Yeah. And Waylon says it's good, right? If I didn't win more than I lost, you never go back. Right. And that's why I say you can win, right? You're going to have, if you're a solid player, whatever game you're playing, I don't care what the game is, and you're winning, like I say, 65, 60, 70, whatever percent of the time, win more than you lose. I think most of us can probably do that, right? Most of us can play in ways that we win more often than we lose. I think that's probably I don't want to say it's a given, but that's the truth of it, right? The secret is this. If you win in those settings, let's say you win 6 out of 10 times, right? If your 6 wins add up to more than your 4 losses, you're going to be a winner over the course of time. That's the way that, quote unquote, you can win, right? It's managing that, right? If those losses are soul-crushing losses and your wins are not very big, then the ratio doesn't matter, right? That ratioing is important. We're going to spend a lot of time coming up talking about win goals, loss limits, ratios, and all that stuff in the math segments coming up here, because it's important to realize that that's where the differences are. The differences lie in there. Can you win more often? For sure you can. You got to make sure that you're winning the right amounts. And I think Waylon's got it on the thing. That's an important thing. You wouldn't go if you didn't win more often. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't play intelligently, those losses will crush the wins that you have. We don't want the losses to kind of pound them wins into the ground. That's the thing we worry about. That's why I say you can't win, because the casino is counting on your losses being catastrophic and your wins being small. They're counting on that. That's what this whole series is about. All my shows, everybody else who's doing content is trying to say the same thing in different ways. Win more than you lose. Win more often than you lose. You're going to be okay. All right. Yes, Arcades. Just because you can't win, I mean, it's fun to try. I love these games. I like trying to win. It's fun, man. It's the reason why, right? But remember what I said yesterday, and I think this is a good analogy. I don't go to work at risk, right? This is an important statement. I don't go to work at risk. I don't go to work and give my boss $1,000, right? And at the end of the day, he can give me back 500, like nothing, 500, my $1,000 back, or an extra $500, depending on how my day went. Like, was I a good employee today? Did I teach well? Did I whatever, right? My boss doesn't pay me. Like, I don't pay to go to work and then get paid something or nothing based on how it went. That's gambling. That's how gambling works. You walk to your job at the casino with $1,000, and based on how you did that day, you walk away with nothing or something. Your regular job doesn't work that way, right? And that's why we say it's entertainment. Make sure you have fun. Go out there and have a good freaking time. You got to. All right, let's go. Let's see. Let me see what else we have. I'm going to go to PCs over here. PCs. Let's see. Oh boy, a lot of PC comments here. Let's see. How do we do the math? When you do these things here, I've got a spreadsheet that has this on it. But basically, you take a look at how many times you ought to win, right? You ought to win it. I think it's 14% on the tall or the small, and like 2% on the all. And that's your odds of winning, or the probability of winning it is that. And so that's how often it should be. You basically are looking at the outcomes that make it happen. So what does it take to get the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 before a 7? And so the way that you calculate that is this. Let me actually write this down. Let me go here. So you've got 1 way to roll a 2, plus 2 ways to roll a 3, plus 3 ways to roll a 4, plus 4 ways to roll a 5, plus 5 ways to roll a 6. That's 3, 6, 10, 15. You have 6 ways to lose on the 7, right? So you put 21 outcomes are good for you, right? 21, and this all has to happen before this happens right here. So 21 versus 6, and you end up with that 14% expected rate. That's how that works. it becomes a bad bet only because what makes the ATS a bad bet, honestly, is the pass line requirement. When they require you to make a pass line bet, it negates the pass line wins, which is the strength of that bet. So you end up feeding nothing. You get nothing off the table when your pass line bet and your ATS bets are the same. That's where the problem ends up being. Again, the casinos would not have made it required that you make a pass line bet to play the ATS if it wasn't in their favor. And there's a reason for that. When you look at that cancellation of those two bets, it's the real deal. And that's where that money goes out. Let's see. Victor says, I could have put that out there as a myth. You'll get dispute on this, right? The casino people will say they don't do that. I've seen it. We've all seen it, but there's no proof of it anywhere. So I can say it as a myth, but I can't give you a definitive statement either way for sure. Let's see. Swapping out the dice. Yeah, for sure. This is what they do, right? They're trying to break rhythm for sure. I know you don't believe me here. And again, you just got to put it in context, right? Hot or cold tables have existed, right? And you got to always look at it in arrears, right? And I think when you look at anything like that's happened a bunch of times, you can say a table has been hot. It's been great. The roulette table has been great. The shoe has been great. It doesn't indicate that it's going to continue being great. That's what that means. It's more to the case on the slot machines. The real thing is the slots and on bubble craps, where there's a computer at play. The computer does not make things hot or cold. It's just random. And that was the real point there. It's really random. I don't believe in hot or cold anything because everything is technically an independent trial. So I don't believe in that personally. But yes, tables can definitely have been in the past very hot. 10 shooters in a row making points, right? It's a great table. Doesn't mean it's going to keep going. You hope it does. You bet like it does, but there's no guarantee of that. And that's all that means. I don't want people to bet on things because it's been hot, because the casino's counting on that. That's where they engage this, what do I call it? Like this super advantage is gained over you when that happens. When people perceive something happening and go, oh my God, it's great. We're going to push it all in. The casino likes that. Like that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that you perceive hotness or coldness in that way, because people will part with their money really quick to catch it. And that's a bad thing. That's the reason why I say that. And I say that with all due respect, right? That it's important to know that that's the way that the casino perceives it and you. Again, they're playing the long game, okay? Let's see, mark the point. What about free play? It's all part of your comps, right? Now, the free play is the one thing that can turn your comp into more money. But again, they limit you there too. You can't put your free play on the 4 or 10, can you? You can put it on an even money bet. They won't let you actually play that money. And most people will burn it. If you put your free play into the slot machine, I forget what I read. I should have that stat with me. Something like 76 or whatever % of people that put the free play into the slot burn the free play. Like you never had it, right? On a craps table, at least you can do something like, on the pass line, have a shot at it, right? Getting your money back. But even then, you're just cashing it in for chips anyway. Jen says, will the tool calculate your value? It doesn't do a very good job of that because it looks at both bets. I have to fix that. It does both bets independently. It doesn't cancel them out because I haven't figured out how to make the hedging part work there yet. It only calculates odds and the straight bets. So if you do a do-we-don't, it won't do that. Okay, bubble craps is random. Let's talk about this really quick. The random numbers on bubble craps. I know how this works. So here is the way that the RNG works in general. Let me actually draw this for you. Give me a second here. If we do let's just do, I'm going to do this, a little bit of a graph like this. We're going to put some lines up here, right? And these lines are going to be like losses. I should make it like a partial loss, or like a lot of full losses, right? These are full take your money losses. These are your partial losses. Here's your partial wins, right? There's another partial loss. Like this is like you win 50 cents, $1, $2 on a $5 spin. This is what RNGs look like in the back. We're gonna pick a random number. Let's pick the number 3. RNG finds the number 3. It goes 1, 2, 3. and this is the bet, or this is the outcome that's going to happen, the third thing. That's how RNGs work. And it says, okay, good. On the third outcome in our set, and there's a million outcomes, right? On the third outcome, the person wins. Let's say this one over here. Let's say that's plus 2%, which means you put in $1, it pays you $1.02 on a slot machine. That's how they work, right? It finds a number on some plane of outcomes. It says, you're going to win 2%. And then it tells the machine that, and the machine goes, and does a little song and dance. And then it shows you how much money you won. Craps works the same way, okay? When you put your money in, put your bets out there, and you press the button, an RNG decides how much money you're going to win. It knows how much you've bet. You've got $42 out there. And it says, look, we got a 3. That means the person's going to win 2% of their money back. It looks at your bets and goes, okay, out of all those bets, how can I give this person 2% of their money back? We're going to pay them on the 4. Then the dice start bouncing around and it lands on a 4. The dice present the outcome of the RNG. This is all computer generated. The computer decides it. The dice show you the outcome. The dice do not generate the outcome on their own. Now, they are physical things, and the dice can miss, right? They're set up how they're going to be set up. The dice can incorrectly have a wrong outcome. And the RNG goes, well, we screwed it up. Just like the person on the video poker making a bad call, the dice can flop the wrong way and it gets screwed. But that's how it works. A computer decides the outcome along this plane of thing. This one over here might be a plus 100%. Maybe that's a double your bet kind of a thing, right? This over here, these on bubble craps are all your 7s, right? And okay, well, we rolled a 9 on the RNG, finds a 9, the 9 is here, 7 out, takes your money. That's the way that it works, right? It's completely fair, right? I'm not going to say that bubble craps is not fair, it's not rigged, but it's computer generated. There's an RNG at play that decides the outcome. The dice show you the outcome. In a slot machine, RNG decides the outcome. The machine plays the video that is related to that outcome. That's all that happens on these things. It is not predetermined to screw you. It's going to say, this time, the RNG decided that you're going to win 10%. Which of your bets can I do that wins about 10%? And it just makes the 6 happen. And here comes a $2 win. That's exactly how this thing works. So I got that on good authority. I've talked to a lot of people about it. That's the way that those things work. So hope that makes sense to you. There it is. Let's see. What do we have? Don't take what I said like, I know where you're going here. You're getting mad at me. But it's the truth. You got to remember this. It is the truth. Again, I'm not saying that you're not a good player, right? I'm not saying that we can't have strategies that win. I'm saying that the casino has the edge. And over time, the casino always wins. That's just the way that this works. Can you play smart? Can you play good? Can you get out sometimes? Hell yeah, you can. You can win, right? Being a lifetime winner is almost impossible because the casino has it over you. You can't fight the math. You cannot fight that. I'm sorry, just the way that it is. Does it change house mins based on the amount of people in the casino? They do. The house minimums are generally based on a lot of things. In Vegas especially, it's showtimes, it's who's in town. When the Super Bowl's there's a million people with a lot of money, the minimums go up. It's not always based on foot traffic. It's based on quality of clientele. What's happening? You'll notice that during the daytime hours, the minimums are up. In the overnights, when it's slow, they go down for sure. So it's partially foot traffic, partially based on what's happening and what amount of money is coming through the casino. That's kind of how that's based. Let's see. Why is your bet amount displayed as a part of the win when it's already yours? That is interesting. Why do you think, Albert? Why do you think? Right? It's the same as the slot machine. When you put in 5 and you win 250, it plays the song because it feels good, right? You have a $10 6 and it pays you $14.50 or whatever that bet pays, or I think it pays or $13.20, whatever the hell it pays, right? It shows you the whole thing. Like, oh, I won $13. You didn't win $13. You won $3 net, right? or $26. You won the 13. It's interesting, isn't it? How it plays with your mind. Like those are mind games, and we get sucked into that, right? I think it's a dirty trick, but they're giving you the dopamine hit that you need to keep on playing, and that's what it's all about. I think that they sometimes do, Dave. I've seen it, but again, in the old days, more often than current days. And again, I don't think that they care if you win. I don't think they care if there's a good roll. When the craps table goes crazy on a good roll and everybody's high-fiving and going nuts and brings the crowd over, what happens? It was a hot table. Everybody goes crazy. People cash out and walk away, and the next flood of people come in and burn their freaking paychecks, right? They don't mind that much, okay? Now, if you got max bets everywhere, that's a problem. They'll try and cool it down a little bit, but they like the fact that it's going crazy. I'm a firm believer that they enjoy that. So let's see. What is my stance on Bagada crap? I have not seen this. Is this the one there's no dice? That's where it's a pure video game. It's the same thing. It's the same as Bubble Craps to me. Now that we know that Bubble Craps is computerized RNG based, it's the same. They're all those things are all counted as slot machines. They just are. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think I got to run. It's 9:08. Good questions today. Good stuff. Really good. I'm glad I got Gargoyle all jacked up. It's good. You can talk about that on your show next week. Are you guys going back, by the way, Gargoyle? Let me go back to the other screen. I got to change my thing. Question right for Gargoyle directly, because I don't know the answer. Are you guys doing your dice control show next Tuesday, or are we on the same schedule? And I guess my secondary question is this: one, is it Tuesday? Two, are you going to start from with Chris yet? Or are you still doing doing it lecture style? So what's happening next? You want to give me the fill in right here? Let's promote that right now on Ed and Jeff's channel. I think next Tuesday is the dice control thing. And are you shooting yet? Or are you still talking about stuff? Justice Jen says, opposite what David said, the bubble dice are solid cores. Yeah, I've been doing some research on it. They are presenting the outcome. That's the way that it works. And that's the reason why you can have them in states like California and in Florida, because there's a computer behind it. The dice do not determine the outcome of those things. And there's enough data and research out there that talks about how that whole thing works. And I read an article last night about it, actually, about how that RNG works on the bubble to make sure that the bets are working right. Again, it's not screwing you. It's saying, oh, your percentage of win for this shooter or this roll is here, and it makes it happen for you. It's very interesting. I know, I don't know how it works. There is stuff in there. Those things have stuff in them. Anyway, that's what, read up on it, Jen. I read a bunch of things, and like, how does the RNG and bubble craps work? And this is what you see is that the RNG determines it, the dice present it. Just like a slot machine, the RNG determines it and the video presents it. It's all the same. All right, let's see. I think that's it. I'm waiting for Gargoyle. Maybe he left me. I don't know. Maybe I made him mad and he left. I don't know. Hopefully not. Oh, he did leave. Time to go. He's going to earn his paycheck. Good. Oh, the real paycheck, because he's working today. Yeah, I'll find out from him, and tomorrow I'll make sure that I announce what they're doing on the beginning of the show, so we all know. Anyway, I'm out, guys. You have a good day. It is Wednesday. It is 9 o'clock, and see you tomorrow morning for the next run. The next run of the daily paycheck, the mob strategy, and there you go. Bye.